Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture I'm going to talk about API keys, what they are and how we can create them. Good, let's get started. So first of all, what is an API key? An API key is just a string of characters. So you have a long text of specific characters and this is some unique identifier. You can imagine it as a combination of a username and a password, and that's your entry point for using a specific service. So why is this needed? Well, it's needed for authentication. It helps the API provider to verify who is actually making the request and to ensure that you are authorized to access a certain requested data or functionality. Then for authorization, it helps that the API key can be associated with specific permissions, and this is allowing the provider to determining what actions your specific application is allowed to use or to perform. And then you can also use it for tracking and monitoring. You can check how much you used a certain service, how much cost was created by using a service, and this is quite helpful. Good, and finally, it can be used as some security measure. Well, while this is not a very robust security measure on its own, it's a basic layer of protection against some unauthorized access. So you're basically forced to create up API keys for all the different services that we are going to use in this course. So here are some from the area of large language models. So you have OpenAI and Google Gemini as the big ones. The downside of these ones is that you need to pay for it. So you need to set up some account and enable billing. If you don't want that, in most cases, you can just rely on Grok. That's a hardware provider. They are creating AI inference chips, and they are using open source, or be more precisely, open weight models, and provide the access to them for free. So if you don't want to spend any money, you can just go with Grok in most of the cases, and still you need to set up some API key. So this is from the area of large language models. But then on the tools side, we are also going to use several providers. Like for searching capabilities, we are going to use Twilly or Server.dev. For interacting with some VectorDB, there is a nice framework called Llama Index. Then from the area of monitoring or logging, we are going to interact with Pydantic Logfire. So these are just some of the services that we're going to use throughout the course. And for some of them, I'm going to show you how to create the API key in the next lecture. For the other ones, I'm going to mention it at the time when we are going to work with the service. All right, let's get started.